Welcome to the chapter 258 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Spoiler, leaks, breakdown, whatever. Of course, you guys know the usual. I have to give thanks to Miyamura for doing this for us weekly, and I value the time of both you and I. So let me make this quick and say, first and foremost, if you enjoy content such as this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And now, let's get straight into this. The chapter begins with the narrator explaining that after hitting two black flashes, Gojo constructed a special RCT circuit due to being in an awakened state. Sukuna was also supposed to regenerate all of his arms, but due to Yuji's 7 black flashes, he could no longer regain his reverse curse technique output. However, the narrator mentions that Yuji specifically hit black flashes right in between Sukuna and Megami's soul realms. So Yuji was locked in as hell. He was aiming them punches at the perfect spots with black flashes, and Sukuna's still not out for the count, which is insane, bro. However, Sukuna would then respond by instantly using his domain expansion. Yes, guys, he got it back and it's finally here. However, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? And it has like this weird design. It's basically Megami's domain if it were completed without a barrier. But we continue. Narrator says that the king's domain had returned to its master, along with the black sparks. And as Sukuna unleashes hell on earth, everything surrounding him begins to get slashed. The narrator would then say, despite including uncertain elements and including binding vows, Ryomen Sukuna had replicated the malevolent shrine without dropping its effective range or output after experiencing the black flash. And oh my lord, this page is basically Shigaraki's page of destroying the entire city way back in My Villain Academia, but with black sparks just alongside it crushing buildings. It is pure devastation being just brought to the world by Sukuna. He is turning up. Miyamura does say that some text got cut off while taking the picture, so just take that entire page and that part of the chapter with a grain of salt, as he could be missing something. We then enter a flashback as this begins. Hakari says that it's important to learn RCT and countermeasures to domains for this fight specifically, and Choso's like, if this is about RCT, then he and Yuji can manage somehow, and Yuji's like, how? Choso asks the RCT users, how do they compensate for the blood when they regenerate their body? Hakari and Yuta could not answer this question, but Shoko says that she converts curse energy into blood. Hakari says that his RCT is automatic, so he doesn't know. Yuta's just like, I go by instinct. I like that Shoko's the only one able to answer this, as she is the most experienced with RCT, clearly has a gift for it, and it shows that she's grown as a sorcerer, because when she was younger, remember Gojo was like, she couldn't really explain how RCT works, it was just gibberish. But now as we see that Choco's older, she's actually able to tell people how she uses RCT. Just a very cool detail. I find that quite interesting. That's all. Choso would then say that his body allows him to convert his curse energy into blood, and if Yuji consumes his remaining brothers, he can gain their curse technique and same properties as Choso, which is being able to convert curse energy into blood. Not only this, but Choso says that the downside of using RCT, which is a large amount of curse energy consumption, is not a concern for them, which is him and Yuji, because of their special bodies. And something I like about blood manipulation as a whole is that we see through Noritoshi Kamo's fight with Naoya, Kamo was able to circulate his own blood in and out of his body to repeatedly use it. Blood manipulation overall just seems to be an amazingly efficient and balanced technique, just benefiting the user in all aspects, even when it comes to RCT in special cases. I just love the ability. And moving on from this, Choso would ask Yuji to be paired with someone who can use RCT when they do the body swapping training. And Yuji is confused, and Uiui reveals that with the help of his curse technique, he can even swap the souls between human beings. Which is insane, bro, Jesus. Now, people really thinking that Gojo gonna come back from this. I swear we're about to see this agenda come up. It's not happening. However, yes, Yuji has soul swap, is confirmed. Yuji can do almost everything at this point. Kusakabe then says, since Sukuna took over Yuji's body and uses curse technique, Yuji's body now remembers the Jujutsu of a special grade, so they plan to do the same with soul swap training. Kusakabe will first swap with Yuji's soul and teach basic curse energy manipulation and simple domain to Yuji's body. Wee or whatever his name is tells him to think wisely as they make the pairs for soul swap training, because with the limit of 1 month, he can only swap twice in this duration. So what this is implying is that Yuji does not only have simple domain now, but Kusakabe's simple domain. And people have not picked up on this yet, but Kusakabe's domain is one of, if not the most powerful domain technique in the series. It only falls short against conceptual techniques such as the Unlimited Void. However, it takes priority over really any other domain and just instantly cuts them up. So now we see Yuji use new Shadow style simple domain against Sukuna's new apocalyptic domain. However, Yuji points out that Sukuna's domain is incomplete here and that there is some loophole, so he's able to endure it. And there you have it, boys. Yuji might be a top 5 contender. We really might have the conversation now that he can counter domains. However, I'm still a little shaky on that subject. The narrator goes on to reveal that Sukuna cannot maintain this high level domain for a long time, and also cannot hit Maki with it, as she has no curse energy within his domain. Sukuna's malevolent shrine will collapse after 99 seconds. Yuji, Maki, Ino all try to endure the rampage. Choso's concerned as he's shouting for Yuji. And bruh, they got Sukuna set up like he's a raid boss on a MMORPG, like the Black Mage from Maple Story. Like he has countdowns for his massive attacks, then everybody goes back to attacking him. It's just kind of hilarious. Yuji's simple domain will go to crack as it can't withstand Sukuna's domain slashes. Yuji gets cut and he loses his left leg, but he's still unfazed. He notices that the slashes stopped and thinks they endured the onslaught. However, Sukuna immediately, you won't believe this, brings out Fuga. Yes guys, we finally have it here. And I believe that in this chapter we get the official translation for the name, right? It's not just open, there's a real name to this. So yeah, let's go over a couple of things, and I'll leave, I won't go into detail. I'll save that for the analysis. I do want to bring up the fact that we don't know who else Yuji trained with. I really think this could be Hakari or Yuta, but I think it's really going to be Hakari because Hakari has that increased domain speed that allows him to win most tug of wars. So if Yuji were to train in Hakari's body and learn how to cast domain expansions the way that Hakari can, because as we can see with Hakari, he broke the system. He found a way to rig his jackpots, to rig his luck, to rig that he will always get more than 1 domain expansion a day, probably like 10 a day. I hope that Yuji took over Hakari's body, because with everything that Yuji can do now, combine that with Hakari's intellect and just the fact that he can rig the system better than really anybody else except for Sukuna, you might see something crazy. I'm gonna save the rest of my thoughts for the official translations because, this is a really important chapter and I want to make sure I'm not spouting BS. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.